So Kapil, it's very nice to be with you again. I mean, and I've been hearing so much about your experiment with fitness. Why don't you just share something here?
Yes. First is I would like to tell you, and I'm also very happy to tell you that last week I got my certification as a fitness trainer.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm a certified fitness trainer, and I can take personal classes. Even I can, teach a group, or even I can travel and conduct training on fitness. So I wanted to talk to you about it, and not just the physical fitness, because 2 weeks back I got a call from one of my friends saying that he wants me to conduct a session, especially for the students who have attempted suicide.
Oh,
So by God's grace, they are alive and they are kicking. So he wanted me to talk to them and conduct a training for them of the Yes Plus program. So the moment I got that call, I got reminded of the time when I had such thoughts about wanting to commit suicide and end
you
my
actually had
life.
such thoughts.
Yes, and fortunately for me, there was somebody to guide me. And at that time, I one of the amazing thing that I did is that I joined gym, and I saw that 30 minutes of workout, 4 days, I saw tremendous change in my thought pattern, and I could see a fountain of energy gushing into my body, and I came back on the track. And from that day, I decided that I really want to do something for the youngsters, for the youth, where you know how we can get them out of this thought process of suicide. And I wanted to ask you that you might be getting calls about it, or you might be interacting with people as you are traveling and teaching and empowering youth from last 20 years. So how do you react, how do you respond on such calls?
I'll tell you a very interesting story about what actually happened when I got a call at 2 o'clock in the night. But before I come to the story, I would really like to know whether you have ever given the thought to this, that you had actually thoughts about committing suicide. That's what you said a few years back. And just 4 days of working out in the gym, and you had found a new purpose to live.
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, such kind of a transformation. Did you ever wonder, like, how this happened? What must have gone through your psyche, through your mind? That on day one, you were contemplating suicide. You wanted to kill yourself. The world was like a horrible place for you.
Yes.
You wanted to quit it.
Correct.
And on day five, everything, all that is just washed out. And today you are a certified fitness trainer. So have you ever wondered, like, what made this shift?
I definitely wonder about it, and one of the reason I saw one of that going to gym, working out, and that thought process got subsided, and a new energy came into me, and it looked like as if somebody just pulled me out of the mud or garbage of inertia. And I think that what do you call, the dull energy got burnt and a fresh energy came into me. So the going to gym, working out definitely helped me. But if you could tell on what is the process which goes behind it, as you have been dealing with mind and how mind works, and you also train people on how to train others to have a better say over the mind through meditation or different techniques.
Exactly. So it's very interesting. Like, see, you use the word dull energy or inertia. Our rishis, the ancient rishis in India, they used three words: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Now, a suicidal tendency is basically, you can say, depression at its peak. So a person starts losing interest in life. Okay, he failed somewhere, maybe in studies or in a relationship, or he's not getting a job anywhere. His family members have lost all hopes in him. He feels like he's a good for nothing. He's a burden on the planet. He feels he doesn't even deserve to live on this planet. he starts losing interest. Okay, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like going for a walk. I don't feel like going and doing my regular once in a week football. I don't feel like doing any studies. I don't feel like going and to my office. I don't feel like talking to my friends. So I don't feel like doing A. I don't feel like doing B. So on, so on, so on. So you start losing interest in life, and if you do not have the know-how as to what you should do about it, how you can address it, how you can stop this, then it keeps on increasing. So as the depression increases, a certain threshold is crossed, and then the suicidal tendencies start creeping in. So then if I don't feel like doing this, I don't feel like doing anything, what's the point in living? Anyway, like nobody loves me, nobody likes me, nobody wants me, I'm useless, and I've had too much of this, enough of this. I want to end all my problems. Now it's very unfortunate that the person thinks that he's ending his problems by quitting. You know, it's like you're in freezing cold, maybe in the tundra region, the Eskimos around you, they're not sharing their, fur coats with you, but you have a jacket and you say, this is so horrible, and you throw away your jacket. You're going to freeze even more. You know, I was reading a blog. An interesting thing I read in that this has been mentioned by, the spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Suicide is continuing with the same frustration, the same depression, the same agony, without having a body to express it. Can you even imagine what kind of a situation it is? See, when you have a body, you can vent out your frustration, you can hit yourself, or you can go and hit someone, or you can at least throw away your phone. Anyway, you want to buy a new one.
I have done it many times.
Yeah, right. But then when you don't have a body, the mind is frustrated. Did you kill the mind? No. You jumped from somewhere. You killed the body. What about the mind? The mind is, now this mind is still in that frustrated state without having a body to express its frustration. So it is horrible. It is even more horrible. You have worsened the situation. So suicide in no way is a solution. You have worsened the situation completely. So depression basically is low prana. Now prana, actually, unfortunately, there is no exact word in English for prana. The closest I can translate in English is a subtle life force energy. So when there is no enthusiasm, there is no drive, and it keeps going down further and further and further. Now what happened when you went to the gym? The moment you started working out with your body, what happened? Like you said, there was a new gush of energy. So this is what our rishis called sattva, rajas and tamas. It's very interesting. See how scientific this is. So when the tamas is increased, tamas is dullness, inertia, lethargy, lack of interest, lack of a drive to do anything. Physically you might be okay, but there is no drive to do anything. Rajas, there is energy, but it's all scattered, it's uncontrolled. Sattva, there is energy and you are in charge of the energy. You can put it where you want to put it. So in an increased tamas state, you just don't want to do anything. And when you went to the gym, what happened? The body and the mind are connected. So when you start working out with your body, it helps to get out the tamas from your body also and from your mind also. So when you did the workout, you lifted a few weights, you pushed yourself down and up, you ran on the treadmill. What happened? All the tamas got shaken up. It loosened up. It was thrown out. Now when the tamas has been thrown out, okay, so little bit of inertia has gone out, somewhere you found some interest. You started developing a liking, and this feels good for the body. Okay, my mind is all screwed up, but ये body को तो अच्छा लग रहा है, करते हैं इसको, एक और दिन करते हैं. More tamas flushed out. Now you have found something interesting. You have found some reason where you can go ahead and do something. At least you started looking forward going to the gym and working out, doing something with your body, and something interesting happening with you. Okay, something of interest. Okay, tomorrow I'll go and do this exercise. Something more of interest. Oh, let me see now. This particular person, he really has a good body. I would like to have abs like this person. Something more of interest has caught up. And suddenly you have found a new purpose to live. But how it all started? The tamas being shaken up and thrown out. And then you could focus on the sattva.
Absolutely. Like as you put it so well, at that time I could see that my focus from the problem got shifted to the solution.
Brilliant.
Instead of why it is happening to me, it shifted to what can I do about it and how can I come out of it. And as you mentioned about prana, somebody very interestingly told me once that your perception of the problem is directly proportional to the energy level or the prana in your system. And the way they explained is that if you see a problem as like a stone of 20 kg and the prana is you have a bucket full of water, and if you throw that stone in that bucket, the water will just splash out. But if you take the same stone and throw in a pond which is having 100-meter diameter, it will just create some ripples. But if you throw the same stone in the ocean will just throw away the stone. So it is like you will get less affected by the environment, people and situation when the energy level is high or the prana is high. And the less affected you are, more effective you will be in whatever you are doing. Now, I want to ask you this, that how much do you think will it bring a change in a development of a person if we include this, the study of prana, study of life in our curriculum in the education system? As once when I was having a discussion with you, you mentioned that when you were in Germany, there in one of the university there is a department called study of Indology, the study of India. So how much do you think will it bring a change in our system, or how much do you think it is important to inculcate this into our education system?
Very interesting. I mean, of course, I believe there is no like shortcut, immediate solution for this. It must be a process which will take quite some time. But yes, the word that you mentioned, prana, it's very interesting. Now, see how prana can affect different things, like you're mentioning. About the phone call which I got at 2 a.m. once. I'll tell you that story.
Yeah.
And what game prana did, you will immediately realize in that. So I got this phone call. It is like around 2 a.m. I'm like fast asleep. So very reluctantly I answered the phone. I just wanted to cut it actually. But I said, okay, let us just answer and see. So there is a voice that says, so wherever I go to impart these youth empowerment programs, mostly in India, people have this habit of giving you respect. So they, along with my name, they suffix a bhaiya, like Salil bhaiya, So then this person says, Salil bhaiya, this is my last phone call. I said, so you're going to sleep after this? He said, no, this is my last phone call. I said, this is a true incident, I think 2007. Then I asked him, so like, why are you saying this is my last phone call? He says, see, I'm completely fed up with my life. And like his voice is in utter despair. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing more for me to live. But because, 2 years back, you had come to my city and you taught me about life. You taught me about youth empowerment. You taught me so many good things. So I thought, as a gesture of respect, before I move out of this world, I should give you a phone call. So I said, oh, suicide. With a lot of excitement, I said that. Suicide? He said, yeah. I said, but then see, what I noticed today, decision-making ability with youth is very, very fickle. They keep changing decisions. So I hope you're not going to change your decision. So he said, no, I'm very sure. I'm standing on the terrace of a tall building and I'm about to jump any moment after I disconnect this phone. I said, okay, but are you sure you're going to do this? Afterwards, don't tell me that you change your decision because I don't like, people who change decisions so fast. So he was a little, perplexed. He said, "Nee, why are you asking this? No, yeah, I'm very sure." I said, okay, then see, if you're sure, then just give me 10. Anyway, you're going to jump, right? Just give me 10 minutes. Because what I feel, you are such a nice guy, your death has to be happening. You jump from the building, you're dead, your dead body is decaying there, nobody came to know. सुना सुना लगेगा बहुत. हाँ, मजेदार होना चाहिए. So let me just inform a few people like from the media or people who have got some video cameras. Let them come and shoot your jump and like how your body hit the ground, how it split into pieces, how the blood oozed out. And then they'll go and interview your parents. Your parents will become famous. You will become a celebrity overnight. So he said, क्या सलील भैया आप मेरे सुसाइड का मजाक उड़ा रहे. मैं बोला नहीं मतलब I'm serious. You just give me 10 minutes. I'll arrange. So he said, क्या आप तो मेरे सुसाइड का मजाक उड़ा रहे. So I said, you are laughing? He said, if you make a joke out of my suicide, obviously I'll laugh. I said, but you are frustrated, right? So how can you laugh and be frustrated at the same time? He said, no, but now you said like this, so I felt like laughing. You are telling video shooting my jump pad. I said, but how can you laugh? You are frustrated, right? He said, means मैं frustrated. हूँ मतलब मैं था नहीं हूँ कि था. So he said, नहीं I was or is frustrated. He said, no, I was frustrated. So what about now? He said, no, now like this conversation you are just making fun of me. He said, so now you're laughing, right? So what about the frustration? He said, yeah, I mean, it's okay. You know what happened? How did all this end? 2 days later, he was organizing a youth empowerment workshop where I was going to go and conduct it. So see what has happened. The prana can get affected by your state of mind. So you found a reason to smile and that has become a source of prana. Now we are completely oblivious of this. So you just laughed a little, the mind got a reason to relax and chill a little. Immediately it has become a source of high prana. And when the prana is high, like you were saying, you are like the ocean. You are like that powerful. The 20 kilo problem is not like a 20 kilo problem. The wave can lash at it.
Correct. As you mentioned, and that made me think that is personal counseling or talking, like that guy is really lucky that he had your number and you were there. Yeah, you were there in his life. So he's alive. But do you think the personal counseling, is it enough? Because I got a call from one of my known person.
Okay.
And he said that, can you come and talk to my son? Because he is in depression. I said, yeah, I can talk if anything I can be helpful. So I asked him, what is he depressed about? He said he got less marks. So then I said, I can definitely connect to it. So I went and I spoke to him. And he was not eating food from last 2 days. So just casually I asked him, okay, but how much marks did you get? He said, I got 92.4. I said, what? I said, this much too, I saw only my mobile getting charged. I never saw in my mark sheet. And I said, okay, how much did you get last time? He said, last time I got 96. So he was feeling very depressed about getting maybe just 3% less marks or 3.5, something like that. So, of course, I spoke to him and he felt better than like how you were laughing. He also laughed. And I told
He
him,
also laughed?
Yeah, because that was the truth. So, how much do you think is personal counseling or talking to a person can help him to come out of this tendency, because one of the main reason of youth students committing suicide is also failure in examination. And it is, second thing that I wanted to ask is about what role parents play in grooming a child, so that when he becomes adult or when he is in a teenage, he is strong enough to take that hit, or what role a friend should play. Because when I had such thoughts, I felt that my friends are actually responsible for all these things. So what role a friend should play when he sees that his or her friend is going into the direction of depression or committing suicide?
Okay, so three things: what role counseling plays, what role parents play, and what role friends play. Let us start with the friends part first. I think if I come to know my friend is contemplating suicide, I will just go take a hockey stick and beat him up. I said, "कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है क्या? Like, what is this nonsense? You know? Means, are you feeling that there is nobody there who cares for you? And has the world just perished for you? What are your responsibilities? And किसी चीज पे कुछ R&D करना है तो कुछ अच्छी चीज पे कर. You'll be amazed. There are, there is documentation available. There are videos available on how to commit suicide.
Oh.
So there are people who do research on this. And in fact, a recent incident in Mumbai, 27-year-old guy, he committed suicide. A few weeks before that, he was actually discussing this on Facebook. And his friends were giving comments and suggestions.
Pathetic.
And he was in a 5-star hotel. He had booked himself in a 5-star hotel. And then he jumped from the top. So it had become a news in the Mumbai city. But just imagine friends giving suggestions. What would be a better method? I don't want to name the person. What would be a better method to commit suicide? So such a friend is not a friend, according to me. One thing I've realized from one of my mentors, Khurshid Batliwala, he has this amazing knack, of, okay, I'll tell you one incident, and then I use the word, what he does. So, a lady came to Khurshid Batliwala's house. I was also there at that time. And she was, as if her life is finished. She was not talking about suicide, but it was like, abhi kuch nahi raha, like crying profusely. So I immediately went and, so we called Khurshid Batliwala Baba. So I said, Baba, there is somebody to meet you, and she needs immediate attention, it looks like. So Baba came, and she said, I have to tell this to you, it's the end of it, so I just got out of the room. They had a conversation for about 4 to 5 minutes. And about the 6th or 7th minute, I came back. This lady was happily cutting carrots in Baba's kitchen. I went to the kitchen to confirm this is the same person. So, and I said, what? She said, I'm making a new dish for Baba. I said, oh, okay. So then I ran to Baba's room. I said, Baba, she's like what? She's cooking. Baba says, yeah. And I realized, the important thing that a counselor or a guide or a mentor needs to do is how much ever big the other person thinks his or her problem is, the guide has to trivialize it. You have to make it look very small. You are bigger than the problem. The problem is not bigger than you. You want to give up when you start thinking the problem has become bigger than me. But when you realize that I am bigger than the problem, and in fact when you become too big as compared to the problem, you trivialize the problem. So either you become big or you trivialize the problem. And then that lady then, while having food, was sharing her so-called confidential sorry soap opera story with all of us happily, and she was joking about it. So this is the role of a counselor, according to me. And but I really doubt how many youngsters would like to take any counseling from parents. So what parents could do is parents have to see to it that they contribute in their children developing a broader view of life. That life is not about exams, life is not about a relationship, life is not just about a job, life is not about just earning a few lakhs or crores of profit in a business. There is more to life. And here, like you were saying, the education, our education system, if the education system can incorporate holistic education, where it's so interesting, the word prana actually means life. And in life, we don't take any education about prana. There is no education in our life about life. And we want to succeed in life, we want to fulfill our expectations, we want to fulfill others' expectations. But there is no education about life itself. And then maybe, in the fag end of our life, we start feeling that, that's what happened when I attended an articling workshop for the first time. I was 24 at that time. And I thought, why wasn't this taught to me earlier? Because this is primary education. And this I'm getting after I've already finished and graduated, passed out of college and already in a job. Had I got this education earlier, I could have dealt with my life in a much better way. So yes, as you say, about parents, the grooming, in fact, the reverse happens. I'm sure, I don't know if you have done any research on some statistics, but there are so many suicides which are happening because of either peer pressure or even parental pressure. And see, what is peer pressure? The peer pressure many times has its root in parental pressure. Why should I compare myself with the performance of my cousin? Because my parents are going to talk about it in the next wedding ceremony. तुम्हारा बेटा यहाँ है, हमारा बेटा तो यहीं से है. And it becomes a topic of gossip.
So true.
When I flunked during my engineering, it was the first time I had failed. But I was absolutely shameless. But then, my relatives, they rubbed it inside. So then, my brother is just 1 year younger to me. So both of us were in the same class now. In different colleges, thankfully. At least that embarrassment I was saved of. And he was a topper. Now it is very, very much difficult, when you fail and your brother is a topper. So when uncle, auntie, they would come home. कौन से क्लास में हो? मतलब सेकेंड ईयर में. छोटा भाई भी सेकेंड ईयर में ना, तू भी सेकेंड ईयर में, तू फेल हो गया. हाँ मैं फेल हो गया. अच्छा तू फेल हो गया, बोला ना फेल हो गया. How many times you will ask? So see, this is the wrong, way of dealing with the person. You're making the person feel guilty. If a person has done something wrong, okay, as long as they feel the pinch. But the moment you start going into guilt, then guilt goes into self-blame, and then again that cycle. The self-blame increases too much, I won't ruin my life. Same thing with relationships. If you feel you are failed in that particular aspect of life, that one person has rejected me, you feel the world has rejected you. You're equating that one person, to the whole world. So this is the wrong education we get from Bollywood, perhaps. तू ही मेरी जिंदगी, तू ही सब कुछ है, तुझ में रब दिखता है. Means in your girlfriend and Ganpati, you don't see any difference. Your girlfriend has got a trunk, and she comes to the office on a mouse. And this Ganpati, you will put her in the sea. So okay, these songs are good to sing, to have some entertainment. But we cannot take. I am so surprised when I travel across the country. I see youth, they're literally replicating scenes from movies. वो पलटेगी तो मेरी है, पलट. Like there are 3 idiots sitting in the canteen. One of the idiots thinks one girl is giving him extra attention, and the 2 other idiots also say, they. Then he says, "वो पलटी की तो मेरी है," because there was some dialogue in some movie. So this is, I mean, what can we call this? Sheer foolishness.
I can completely relate to this because one of the reason for me to get these thoughts was also love affair, which failed, which I'm thankful because last year I met that girl's husband. So, and at that time I felt that this is the end of my life and this is it. And this is one of the reasons of why people come, youth especially, students commit suicide, love affair. And this is above failure in examination.
Oh, okay.
And the problem here is that I cannot go and talk to my father or maybe a professor. Who knows, the professor might be going through the same thing actually. So there is no guarantee these days. So I don't know whom to share with. And it is happening inside. Like,
Yeah, you never know if the person you shared it with might turn out to be your competitor.
yeah. Like I am having the feeling of jealousy. I am so nervous about it and I don't know what to do about it. And it is taking away my energy and taking away my focus. And because of that, actually, my results went down. And actually, my interest in the studies was anyway less, but it went down. Like, leave it, man. Nothing can be done about it. So, fortunately, there were some people who helped me in that. And many things I replicated from seeing the movies, Bollywood love, that these things will happen. So, what do you say about how do you think that people can come out of it? What can help? Because this has become a trend, it has become a cool thing to have. People talk like, hey, you don't have girlfriend? Hey. Like that people do, or you don't have boyfriend. It has become a status symbol.
Status symbol, yeah.
So, like as you mentioned, peer pressure. Like if 5 people out of 5, 3 have girlfriend or boyfriend or something like that, and then 2 feel that they need to have it. And so, what do you say about it, and how should a youth come out of it?
Kapil, this is a topic of really, I'm very passionate about this topic because I myself have gone through a few breakups and I'm having a happy married life now. But I feel, right now my love for food, and I would really like to have a nice meal with you. Looking at your biceps, I can see they have grown a few centimeters, if not inches. So, what is your latest diet regimen? And if you could also help me with this. So, I think let us just call it off now and discuss this sometime later. What do you say?
Definitely, I was about to tell you that. But I could also see the passion that you have about the relationship, so this question triggered. But I think let's go to the dining hall.
Perfect. First, let's go to the dining hall and then let's catch up on Bollywood going to some movie hall.
Yes. Okay.
Very nice meeting you.
Same here.
Great,
After a long time.
Yes, after a long time. See you.
Yeah.
Also, अभी you guys are